Hey everyone, it's Andrew Newton from StockFootageAcademy.com, and I'm here to talk to you today about the right mindset you need to sell stock footage online. One of the biggest problems I hear other videographers talk about is they don't know what to shoot. From their perspective, there's nothing worthwhile around them, and I see this especially with videographers that travel to exotic locations. Home base just isn't exciting enough for them. So I could list off dozens of things for you to go shoot, but I'd rather help change the way you look at the world. The key to finding worthwhile subjects is to adopt what I call the stock mentality. It changes the way you look at the world and is based upon a series of questions I use to decide whether to shoot a subject or not. The first step is to start thinking like your customer, the end user. What are they trying to achieve when they buy your stock video? Sorry to crush your Hollywood dreams, but it's unlikely your footage is going to be in the next Justice League movie. Most of your stock is likely to end up in some kind of advertisement or corporate video. How could an advertiser use your footage? Just think about TV commercials with and for example, we'll talk about coffee, my favorite. So, what product are they trying to sell with your footage? Is there a new coffee maker, so they need to see a steamy cup of coffee looking interesting? Is it an ad for a new energy supplement and they want to show an exhausted person holding a cup of coffee? Or is it a product for new parents desperate for anything that'll help them get a night's sleep, with a clip showing a well rested parent enjoying their morning coffee? Another huge market for stock footage is corporate videos. These may not be public ads, but they could be used in training videos, trade show displays, or even presentations. They could use the exhausted person with the coffee to discuss the dangers of fatigue on the job, or a shining cup of coffee could be used to show off a new dishwasher at a trade show, or happy looking employees sharing coffee to portray their corporate culture as happy and social at a job fair, or an annual event where a company is reviewing their progress and proposing a new initiative to motivate employees, like a clip of a parent enjoying a coffee while their child eats breakfast when the company announces their new flexible working hours. See where I'm going with this? How about the news? A classic for stock footage. I remember watching the evening news as a kid and wondering about the caption at the bottom that said, "From archives" or "From file." I wanted to know where it came from and how long they had been saving it in hopes of one day using it. Now, news media doesn't have to rely on their own archives. They can find related videos online. And consumers demand more appropriate footage than ever before from news outlets because it needs to be entertaining as well as informative. Someone drinking coffee from a mug with a corporate logo in an article about that company having personnel trouble, or maybe they're a coffee vendor, or a mug of coffee in an article about pesticides in our food. Just browse the news. How could your footage fit in those stories? Now that I've got some ideas of who might need my footage, I think about camera angles and movements that fit those stories. Establishing shots are key for storytelling because they, well, establish a story in place. Maybe an establishing shot of someone sitting down at the table with their coffee, staring out the window. What about a detail shot? Steam rising from the mug as coffee is being poured. Someone's lips as they take the first sip, hands wrapped around the mug for warmth. What kind of movement can I use in this shot? Movement is what differentiates video from a photo, so what kind of movement would be appropriate for potential clients you dreamed up? Is the subject moving? Is the camera moving? How about a close up of steam rising from the fresh coffee showing heat through movement? A lockdown camera might be desirable when someone interacts with the subject, like picking up the coffee mug. What about when the subject isn't moving? I look at how I can use camera movement to add interest. A slider shot of a close up coffee will still be interesting after steam stops. Is the camera following the person carrying the coffee to the table? Does the camera pan away from the person after they enjoy that first sip? Research shows that smiling faces help sell products. Stock photography is infamous for smiling people awkwardly doing things. So, how can a person interact with your subject and not look awkward doing it? Is someone stirring milk into their coffee? Is someone knocking over the coffee mug? Is someone holding their cup up in the sunlight like at the Holy Grail? This is what I'm talking about when I talk about the stock mentality. This is how you look at objects around your house or places in your town and see the potential ways you can make them the star of your story. Because that's what good stock is, a story. And it's a building block for someone else to use to tell their story. So go out today and look at your surroundings with fresh eyes and imagine all the clips you can make. Happy shooting.